Good morning. Am I audible?
Good morning, all.
Anna, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I can also hear you. Good. I think the audio issue should not come today. I think there is no audio lag also. Right. Thank you, Na. We will start by 10 then.
Yes, yes. Sure.
So, good morning and welcome to day three of our workshop on SPSS multivariate analysis. It's truly inspiring to see all of you gathered here, eager to explore deeper into the domain of statistical analysis and unlock the potential of SPSS in understanding complex data relationships. Over the past 2 days, we have embarked on an enlightening journey exploring various statistical techniques and methods that SPSS offer for analyzing multivariate data. We have covered a wide presentation of tools that empower us to extract meaningful insights from data sets with multiple variables. As we begin on today's session, I encourage you to embrace the challenges and opportunity that lie ahead. Multivariate analysis is not just about crunching numbers, it's about resolving the intricate patterns and relationships hidden within the data and using that knowledge to make informed decisions and drive impactful outcomes. Once again, I extend my warmest welcome to each and every one of you. May today's workshop be both enlightening and enriching, and may the knowledge gained here pave the way for countless discoveries and achievements in your future research ventures. Once again, I welcome you all. Sir, shall we start, sir?
Yes, yes, madam. Yes, we can start.
Okay, sir.
Good morning to one and all present here through Gmeet as well as in the live YouTube. Thank you, madam and Professor Monisha, for this brief introductory lines for the day. Friends, you are all aware that this is the third day of 2 weeks workshop on quantitative research using SPSS and Amos. I think it's going to be a very long journey, and I'm really privileged to be part of this long journey to have a very short inputs for 3 days. So before going into the third day of presentation, I just want to be very clear whether my audio is clean.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. And can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Great. Because I think I don't want to waste much time today. Because today we need to wind up with so many tests that are all pending with regard to bivariate as well as with the multivariate. And I really thank you all because I can see that overwhelming response of all the participants joining before ahead in time in the Gmeet and being participated. One thing that I would like to tell you all as a prelude that SPSS will never stop in a workshop. You need to consecutively work at least on a weekly basis. If you plan for a monthly basis, you will forget everything. So if you're a budding researcher, then you should touch SPSS at least daily for doing 1 or 2 tests, and you move upon with that, so that you will be like gaining expertise in this. And friends, just to give an overall review of the past 2 days, the very first day that we discussed about the basics introductory part of SPSS, we discussed about the origin of SPSS, and how quantitative research will be proceeded, and what are the tools should be used in order to collect the primary data for quantitative research, especially using questionnaire method. And we also discussed about contents of questionnaire and type of variables, independent and dependent. When you're talking about a variable, what measures will come into a picture, namely scale, ordinal, and nominal. And then we moved on to SPSS measures like nominal and ordinal. And we also discussed how ordinal scales needs to be converted into scale measure. And we also discussed on various tests and the combination of measures that we need to consider in order to run those tests in SPSS. So yesterday we have seen how simple percentage analysis should be done, descriptive statistics should be done, and independent t-test for two groups sample, and ANOVA, that is analysis of variance, f-test for more than two groups. And today we are going to venture upon the test which you all like chi-square, correlation, regression, and cluster analysis. And based on the time that we are going to consume today for this presentation, we will plan on factor analysis later, because factor analysis require a different data set, and I will also tell you how exploratory factor analysis should be done. That is going to be in picture based on the availability of time. So hope you are all ready, and I am also going to stop presenting the slide and going for a live presentation. So I'm going to keep this questionnaire open and ready to make sure that you're all be very careful in understanding the questionnaire. And I think already the SPSS file is open, and I've also kept the test everything ready. And we're also going with the SPSS output, because we saw simple percentage, descriptive, bivariate, and one sample t-test. Yes. So today we are going to just proceed with the further test. As I always mention, you all need to be very good in Microsoft Office. If you are not, then try to be prepared with the Microsoft application, which will be very much useful. So now we are moving on to chi-square. Can somebody tell me what is the condition of chi-square? What are the type of data that we require? We need both independent variable and dependent variable. And independent should be in what measure? Can anyone tell me? Independent should be in nominal measure, and dependent variable should also be in nominal measure. Only for chi-square, you have this condition. Otherwise, if you check this column, for all the tests, the dependent variables are expected to be in scale. Hope you're all following this. So now coming to the questionnaire, can you all see the questionnaire? Now tell me, if we are going to run chi-square test, do we have any such variables here to run? Can somebody tell me? Any such test? Any such variable to run this chi-square test? I think in the Excel sheet I've already stated income. So income is actually in nominal scale. And in the dependent variable, I have stated the usage of online shopping website, right? But Is it possible to touch upon section B, C, and D for chi-square? Is it really possible? Can anyone comment on this? Now we are going to run chi-square test for income of the respondents and the choice or usage of online shopping websites. But is there any possible for any researcher to touch upon this pure dependent variable to run chi-square test? Can somebody comment on this? Is it possible really? Okay, the answer is no. Perfect. The answer is no, which is correct until we convert the scale variable into nominal. Okay, which we are going to discuss it later. I don't want to start upon that, but the answer is very simple. It is no, because all the other actual dependent variables, we have converted that into a scale variable, so we cannot run chi-square test. I don't know why chi-square is very popular among the researchers. Wherever I go, the very first thing they will ask me is chi-square test, and everybody want to run this chi-square test like anything. I think people are very grave about this chi-square test. And with regard to chi-square test, we can simply go with descriptive statistics and cross tab. Can you all see this? Analyze, descriptive statistics, and cross tab. So again, in the row, I'm going to put income, and in the column, I'm going to include Amazon, eBay, Flipkart, Snapdeal. And in the statistics, I'm going to click this chi-square. I'm going to give continue. And with regard to cell, you can take percentage by row, column, total, but I'm not going to touch that now. You can do it later, right? But you have all the options to make it to present along with the percentage, but now we need only the table, right? So I'm just going to give okay. So now we ran one test, but how many tables we got
Excuse me, sir.
annually? Yes, madam.
Sir, we are not able to see your screen, sir.
Okay, 1 minute, madam. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, where did it actually stop, madam? From the analyze?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Now we are going to thank you, madam, for stopping me immediately and getting into it. Right. Thank you. Analyze, and we need to get into this descriptive statistics and cross tab. Simply, you keep things in mind. If you think about chi-square, it is cross tab, right? Because in chi-square, we normally get the cross tabulation of content. So analyze, descriptive statistics, cross tab. Again, I'm just going to rebuild this. We are going to use income in row column, and we are going to include Amazon, eBay, Flipkart, Snapdeal, everything into column. And then we have several options. Nothing wrong to explore every option, because even when I start using SPSS, I try to explore all the option. But simply we can go into statistics and check this chi-square. You also have this correlation, but it is not necessary to use correlation now. You just stick on with the chi-square and give continue. And if you are very interested, you can check all the cells. Here you have one wonderful option. You can take the percentages in row, column, as well as for the total. But I'm not using this now, because this will make the table even more clumsy with some add-on values in a merged way. So I'm not using it. So I'm just going to have a plain table, and you can see the format and style and everything. You can just check and explore, and here you can just see what is there. If you want any clustered bar chart, you can click this, and you can use it if needed, or else Excel is a better option to use. I'm going to give okay. Now can you see the result? This is the processing summary. The sample size is 165 and the total is 100%, and there is no missing values at all. But we are expecting one cross tab table, But here, can you see how many crosstabs we got? 1, again a bar chart, 2 with bar chart, 3 and 4. Because we considered all the 4 variables as dependent, so we got 4 tables, right? And for example, if I'm going to take this first table and I'm going to present it in Excel, if I'm zooming it, can you all see this? Is it visible clearly? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So now if you take this alone, right? So if you take this table alone, this is called as contingency table. And in this contingency table, there is one small condition that all the cells should at least have 5% of the sample size. For example, if you see the SPSS output, can you see here? 2 cells have expected count less than 5. Can somebody tell me what are those 2 cells which is having an expected count of less than 5? Maybe this 2, because this is a very small number. If it is less than 5, scientifically speaking or technically speaking, you cannot run a chi-square test. But if that is going to be the case, then most of the thing you cannot run. But here I think it looks neat. Uh, there is no 0 cells have expected, so you can use this eBay, and you can use Flipkart because again 0 cells have expected count, and again Snapdeal 7 cells have expected count less than 5. So authentically or technically speaking, you can use only Flipkart and eBay. But you all need to understand, mostly chi-square is not a very strong test. You cannot see it in any much of publications, right? Even abroad. But if you take any UG or PG or MPhil dissertation or project work, students always love to use crosstab. Why? Can somebody guess and tell me why students love using this crosstab? Why? Any guesses? Just to increase the pages of data analysis. If you are going to run chi-square test, even for this one simple association, what we are going to do, we are going to paste around 8 tables, because one is going to be crosstab and second one is going to be chi-square test. In this chi-square test table, if I'm going to take this table, that is Amazon chi-square, can you all see? This is Pearson chi-square which we need. So this is the table which we normally include in the research report. So this is a chi-square value, this is degrees of freedom, and asymptotic significance. This is nothing but p-value. So friends, I'm just going to consider all the chi-square test value now. See, for annual income on Amazon, is it significant or not? Is the value, the p-value is less than 0.05? Answer is no. Again for eBay, answer is no. Again for Flipkart, the answer is no. Again for Snapdeal, it is nearest value, but the answer is no. Right? So as I told earlier, we should not be very much about whether the answer is yes or no. You can just document the same. So now we are going to have the hypothesis for the chi-square test. So what is a hypothesis? Anyone? There is no significant. It should not be difference. It should be association. Can you all see? It should be association for chi-square. So there is no significant association between the income of the respondents and their choice of online, is it a platform? Online shopping website. So I'm just going to copy it and going to paste the same here. So now the hypothesis is ready. So do we really need to paste all this thing? If you're going to be a very good researcher, would you really want to consider all the table, or what are the important table that we need to consider? Can somebody help me? Yes.
We have to consider the p-value table, sir.
Okay, p-value table alone is enough. In case if you are very serious that you need to consider all the table, what I would suggest is you can just format the table like this, and you can use it. You can just merge this and take this total and put it here. And what you can actually do is you can take this one particular table alone. In Excel, it is easy for you to merge and put everything into one picture. But don't add one more table, that is one more table for the chi-square. Instead, what you can do, you can add here as chi-square value, right? You can also add p-value. So what is p-value? 0.186. What is chi-square value? 4.813, right? Then you can give source as computer data. Maybe I'm just preparing this for people, those who really want to use chi-square table explicitly with all the necessary conditions. So your table should look like this, right? I'm also giving a proper outline for this. I don't want any background, so I'm removing it, and font size needs to be in black. So I'm just going to copy this and going to paste it here. So this is the table. Is that clear? So this is the table I'm going to consider, and we can consider all this in bold if you feel it is more essential. So you can consolidate the table based on your convenience, and it is going to be table 4 showing the association between the income of the respondents and their choice of online shopping website. So title is over. Then what can be the inference again? Inference can be, since the p-value is greater than 0.05 at 5% level of significance, the null hypothesis is accepted. Therefore, there is no association between the income. So likewise, if you want to prepare, you can prepare it for all the table. But it is always good to prepare a consolidated table also. I'm just going to show that too. How are we going to prepare that? We're just going to take only the chi-square table. Okay, this is for Amazon, right? This is for Amazon, and this is for eBay, and this is for Flipkart, and this is for Snapdeal, right? So it's going to be very simple. We can remove all the merge, and what are we going to have? Only the degrees of freedom, chi-square value, and p-value. So this is chi-square value. This is degrees of freedom, and this is p-value. And this is going to be online shopping websites. And you can type in Amazon, eBay. I need to ensure that eBay, Flipkart, and finally Snapdeal. So now the tables are perfectly ready. So instead of a table, what you have actually done, you converted everything into a single table. This is that single table that you have converted that into. And again, you can give source as computed data. And you can also give a note at 5% level of significance. So you can have this table alone to make a very neat presentation of analysis. So this is also possible. Can you all have a view of it? Then now you can write a simple inference stating that none of the websites are having a correlation. So what is the actual inference if all the p-values are greater than 0.05? Inference clearly states there is no association between the income and the shopping website. So what does it really mean? Can somebody spread some light on that? What does it actually mean when all the p-values are greater than 0.05?
Null accepted.
Null is accepted, and it is very clear that people belong to all the income group are using multiple online shopping website. They are not specifically attached to any one website. Can you all understand? Right? This is all about chi-square. Can I get some questions? If you have any doubts, you can let me know now, or else we can proceed with the further test.
Sir, for
Do you have
Flipkart and Snapdeal, the p-value is more than 50.
for all the four, the p-value is more than 0.05, madam. Yes,
Yes, sir, I got it. Right.
yes. Anyone have any question? I think Himachalapati sir has rightly asked one question. Chi-square is a non-parametric test. Yes, I just want you all to understand. Chi-square is actually called as a perfect test. Statisticians normally name it as a perfect test because it can be part of both parametric and non-parametric. And chi-square is very popular among the students and scholars up to MPhil. Now MPhil is actually a question mark. But in PhD, if you really need, you can use a chi-square test. Otherwise, you can skip it because normally if you take me, I never advise anybody to use chi-square test because the term association will not give you any uh, better outcome for your study. For example, even if you use a small t-test or ANOVA with the help of descriptive table, you can exactly say this is what, right? So I always feel this correlation test and the chi-square test will just tell you whether there is any association or relationship. Otherwise, it will not give you any significant output for the research work. So you need to decide whether you need to use it or not. Otherwise, we can use chi-square for both parametric as well as for non-parametric. Shall we proceed with further test?
Sir, I have one question.
Yes,
Sir,
madam.
chi-square test for homogeneity is a parametric test. Am I right?
Right, yes.
So,
Because if you run chi-square test in a non-parametric way, it will be different.
yeah, in non-parametric, both variables are categorical. But for homogeneity, the variables should be continuous.
No, madam, no. Even if you're going to consider the continuous variable, it has to be converted into nominal. Then only you can see the values in the contingency table.
Okay,
That is in a cross tab.
okay.
I think Madam Satya or Mr. or Miss Satya has asked how to convert 5-point scale into 3-point scale. Sir, if really needed, you convert. Otherwise, you don't do it because I never encourage people using 3-point scale. If you really want to convert, it's very simple. Add strongly agree and agree together as one positive side of variable. Keep the neutral as it is and add disagree and strongly disagree and keep it as one single value. Then you will get a 3-point scale. Is that clear? Shall I proceed further to correlation?
Sir, I have one more question.
Yes,
Sir,
ma'am.
for
Yes.
chi-square test, can we do this using data analysis in Excel?
Ma'am, yes. I think in Excel, those were very
I haven't seen in the toolbox any name there
Madam, I
using.
think you need to manually apply the formula, madam, by using it.
Yeah, through
Regression correlation, you can directly apply the formula. But for chi-square, I think you have. I'm
there
not
is no
very well
option. I
versed.
think in data analysis there is no
Okay.
option.
Oh, fine. Maybe then you have to manually compute using Excel.
We
Otherwise, I think you can go with regression, correlation, and everything.
know how to do then chi-square test.
Ma'am, by
I'm
using
using
SPS
the
tests.
I'm using function names only. Using function names I can do that.
Okay. I think I'm not well versed in Excel with regard to chi-square, madam. But SPS is the right tool to use chi-square test.
Okay.
Right. How to convert scale variable into nominal variable for chi-square test? Sir, I think after doing a cluster analysis, I will teach you that part. So now, if there is no further question on chi-square, we can move to, we are going to check the correlation test. So what is correlation according to you all in general?
It measures the strength of relationship
That's
between
it.
two variables.
Perfect. And what are the three types of correlation? There is a strong correlation, mediocre correlation, and a weak correlation. Right? There is no concept of uh, we can always say positive correlation as well as negative correlation. These are the terminologies we normally use with regard to correlation. As I told, how association is not very a strong test, correlation is also not a very strong test. But we cannot leave correlation like chi-square because in order to run regressions and other multivariate, the very first thing that you need to run is correlation test, because all the multivariate tests are going to exhibit its strength and weakness only based on the correlations, that is relationship between the variable. Yes, sir, you're absolutely right. If r value is going to be 0, then it is going to be no correlation.
Then
I
no
think
correlation.
I think normality test and reliability test is something that is very long enough to understand, sir, that it should be on a very first thing. We will discuss it later if time permits. But normality test, you can just browse online and you can run. And reliability is very important, but I'm not going in detail to it because it will also eaten up our time and those are all technical aspects that we need to slowly do it. Sometimes you run normality test and you will not get the right answer and you will feel very doomed to proceed further with the test. So histogram is a very basic visualize checking of normality for beginners, but further this KS test and all you can use for normality. If time permits, we will learn that also. So with regard to correlation, we cannot skip it. Before running regression, before running any type of multivariate test, that we definitely need to run correlation to understand the relationship between the variables. And even if you take regression table or anything, correlation stand its own point, that is R value, right? So now we are going to run a correlation, but it is not just a tabular correlation. It is going to be a correlation which is bivariate in nature, um, bivariate or even multivariate in nature. So friends, with regard to bivariate analysis, in continuation to yesterday's uh, presentation, I'm stopping with bivariate here. So the univariate is simple percentage, descriptive and one sample. Bivariate is independent ANOVA chi-square. Correlation can be both bivariate as well as multivariate. And now we are going to start with correlation. So how I am going to do correlation is only by using the scale variables. I don't bring any independent variables here because I feel independent variables and dependent variables relationship we can study using regression if needed, or else even a very simple one sample independent ANOVA will tell you the relationship. But we need to understand whether there is a correlation that are existing among the um, dependent variables. Just I'm going to present the screen. Just see, in the section B, we are studying 4 factors: website safety, payment safety, product selection, transaction safety. I'm just highlighting it. Can you all see the screen clearly, or you want me to zoom it?
Please, sir, zoom it.
Okay, right. So section B has 4 factors: one, website safety; two, payment safety; three, product selection; and four, transaction safety. Right? Now, all we need to understand is already we have explored all these independent variable. But as a good researcher, we need to explore the dependent variables more because these are all measured based on people perception. So here, website safety, payment safety, product selection, transaction safety are 4 factors. We are going to see how these are all interrelated. And when I say interrelated, you also need to include consumer shopping experience as well as consumer satisfaction. You can even check the relationship between transaction safety and their experience and satisfaction also. So for that, we are going to use SPSS again, analyze, correlate, and we are going to use bivariate. Why bivariate? Because it is going to combine two variables. So I always say correlation is part of bivariate as well as multivariate, but originally it is bivariate. I will also explain why I am considering that as multivariate. Right? So analyze, correlate, and bivariate, and we need only scale variables. I'm moving all the 6 variables here. And here already the Carl Pearson's correlation is checked in. So I'm not touching it. If you need further details of means, you can use it. But now I'm going to do a very plain correlation, right? So I'm going to give OK. So can you see this table? Correlation is one such thing which I like the most because correlation table looks very nice. Can you see? One pakka neat square table which looks very impressive. So even if you post it in your research report, it looks very nice, neat. Okay, but it's always suggested that you should not use any raw table in your report because that is not too good to use, right? So first we finish all this formatting work, and we can make every value center and to make it look very neat. And can you all see the table now clearly? Yes.
No, sir, this font size is too small. Kindly zoom it.
Okay, now.
No, sir.
Okay, at least the table structure can you see?
Yeah, only structure.
Okay, now, right. Now, can you tell me, after seeing this large table, what is your inference directly? Can somebody tell me about the values? Is there any duplication or is there any values that is repeated again? Can somebody tell me, just infer it? Just observe the table and tell me.
Sir, values actually are not clearly visible.
Okay. Okay. Can you zoom it in the screen possibly from your end?
I have tried
Okay.
my
Now
best.
I'm just doing one thing here. Okay. What I have done here is I have just highlighted all one. Okay. Now what you're seeing on both the opposite side, is it different values or same values?
Sir, it should be same because it is a triangular matrix.
Perfect. Perfect. You can see the mirror value. So since the values are same, what you can do is you can just delete all any one of the mirror value based on your wish. So I am just deleting all the values on the top. Is that clear to all? Now you already have a flag of this asterisk mark. For example, when I say flag, it is very clear if there is a, if you're going to follow 0.01, that is 99% level of confidence, you're going to have two asterisk mark, right? That is how it has been stated as significant based on the p-value. So that is also be very clear. Now I'm going to just zoom it and going to tell you, uh, we are going to delete all this unwanted tables. Like when I say unwanted, those are all value which is not needed because you're already aware of this n. So I'm just deleting all the n. Okay. So I'm just deleting it. And again, I'm deleting 0 and n. That is p value and n. Now you will get a very clear picture. So I'm deleting all this. So this column will also become not useful now. So I think now I can zoom it and you can visit it better. Can you all visit the table now? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Now what you're actually seeing, this is called as bivariate correlations, right? Which means you can just take this column. If you take this column, website safety and payment safety are correlated significantly to an extent of 62.4%, which is really a good level of correlation. Then product correlation, transaction safety is correlated with website. Consumer shopping experience is also correlated, right? But with regard to satisfaction, it is moderately correlated. Clear? And again for payment safety and website safety is correlated, but payment safety and transaction safety is not much correlated. Then similarly, product selection and website safety is correlated. Product selection and payment safety is correlated. But if you see transaction safety, it is not much correlated, right? Again with consumer satisfaction. Again, if you take transaction safety, you can see that it is not correlated with payment safety. Can you all understand this? But if you need to understand, you need to be carefully seeing each variable, right? Then only you can see the correlation level. But normally I don't take all this correlation one by one. What is the overall observation about this correlation table? Can somebody tell me? Is there any no correlation? Is
No.
there any negative correlation? Is there any
No.
poor correlation?
No.
No. So what we can understand is, with regard to all the 6 factors related to consumer behavior, consumer shopping experience, and consumer satisfaction, all the values are actually correlated positively. However, we can consider our more important thing is consumer satisfaction. However, the consumer satisfaction and payment safety alone is highly correlated, and with regard to consumer shopping experience and satisfaction is very highly correlated. Can you all see this value?
Yes, sir.
0.763. So, what is the actual understanding from this point? When
The-
people enjoy the experience in shopping online, their satisfaction level is also increased. Followed by that, if they have a very good payment safety, again their satisfaction is high. Similarly, if the payment safety is high, consumer shopping experience is also high. Likewise, by giving an overall observation, you can still give a very basic or very intense observation on this. So again, I'm just going to take this table here. We are going to have a hypothesis. What is a hypothesis now? You have to use a vocabulary of correlation test. There is no significant relationship among
Two continuous variables.
the factors of consumer behavior, consumer shopping experience, and consumer satisfaction. So we can just consider this. Are you all following me? Is it clear to all? So again, the table 6 showing the relationship between the factors. So this is going to be centered, and now we need to paste this table. While pasting it, you need to just adjust the table accordingly. It give a very neat look for your report. All these highlights, if needed, you can do. Otherwise, it is not needed. What is the basic inference? Since the p-value is less than 0.01 for all the factors, there is a significant correlation among the factors of consumer behavior, consumer shopping experience, and consumer satisfaction. However, the consumer satisfaction is highly correlated with payment safety and shopping experience. That's all. And based on your research inputs, you can give more inference for it. So, friends, that we are actually done with correlation now, right? So today we have seen chi-square test, correlation test. Shall we move on to multivariate test now? Multivariate can also be multivariate and bivariate. What is that popular test? Can somebody guess? Multivariate test, which comes as a very popular thing for multivariate test. What are we going to see? Any idea?
I have only this idea that in multivariate test we have one dependent variable and more than one independent variables.
Yes, madam. And it can also be more than one independent variable and one dependent variable also.
Yes, yes.
So now we are going to see multivariate linear regression analysis, a very popular test across globe, and even you all aware of AI now, big data analytics now, predictive analytics, everything is running based on multivariate linear regression analysis. Sometime As a researcher, this test is our major test. And for many actual researchers in the field of big data and artificial intelligence, they just start with regression analysis and then go with further analysis. Here, we are actually going to use dependent variable scale, independent variable also scale. But here, the independent variables are not real independent variables. What does it mean? Independent variables are not real independent variables. Can somebody comment on that? We need independent variable.
Multicollinearity.
Multicollinearity, we can check, madam, that is there. We are going to use multiple independent, more than one independent variables we are going to use. More than one independent variables we are going to use.
Because for regression, precondition is that correlation should be linear.
Yes, I think we already ran the correlation, madam. So it is very clear that the correlation is supportive and there is no intercollinearity and multicollinearity. So it is not necessary to run the test separately. If needed, we can run the test. But with regard to multivariate linear regression analysis, we are going to use scale variables on both the sides. In case if you are going to run nominal variable, then we have to run the logistic regression. But I'm not going to touch upon that. We are going for a very basic MLRA today, where we need more scale variables, and the independent variables are going to be more than one. Even if you want to have single variable also fine, and dependent is going to be a single dependent variable, right? I'm just giving more note here because to have a better understanding. And only with the help of this multilinear regression analysis, your actual research work will come to an end. Okay, and now we are moving on to the questionnaire. Now we have so many factors under consumer behavior. We all know website safety, payment safety, product selection, and transaction safety are dependent variables, right? Yes or no? And these are all in scale measures, right? But in order to run the regression analysis, now we are going to consider that all these four factors as independent. And we are going to see whether all these four factors are going to influence the consumer satisfaction. Can you all understand? Are you all following me right? What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use all these four factors and I'm going to see whether it influences consumer satisfaction. For example, I'm just going to see website safety, payment safety, product selection, and transaction safety. All these four dependent variables, I'm going to consider this as independent and whether it is going to influence consumer satisfaction. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Right? So this is
Yeah.
what you need to understand. We need scale measures. Already all these are in scale measures. And we are going to consider dependent variable as independent now. Now we are going to run the test, go to analyze, directly regression. We are going to use linear regression, right? Before using this linear regression, I just going to ask you, how many of you are aware of this regression equation? What we normally use for regression equation?
Y is equal to
I
x plus bx.
Yes, excellent. Under regression analysis, if it is going to be linear, okay, the equation is y is equal to ax plus b. where the b is constant and a varies based on x and so on. So this is a basic equation, and if we are going to run only one variable, this is the equation, right? In case if you are going to add, and just using k for constant, right, then it can be ax1 plus bx1 plus cx1. So multiple equation you can use, or else you can even use ax1 plus ax2 and ax3. I really don't want to confuse you all with these equations, but all you need to understand is when there is a linear equation, linear regression equation, you will have one constant as c, and you will have one varying variable, right? When these are predicting, when these are giving a composition of a, when these sums are considered, you will get the value of y. This is what the understanding, but once we run the analysis, you will understand it better. What is our dependent variable now? Satisfaction. Independent is website safety, payment safety, product selection, and transaction safety. You can explore all these if you need. Otherwise, you can just check all the values. I'm just going to give directly OK. So we are going to beautifully get three tables. Without much thing, I'm just going to copy and paste all the three tables. Okay. So now I'm going to explain the output. There is model summary, there is ANOVA table, there is coefficient table. Clear? Can you all see all the three tables, or at
So,
least one table?
sir,
Model
can you
summary,
repeat the steps of this after analyze what we need to click?
analyze, regression, linear.
Okay.
Right, madam? We will get three
Okay.
tables.
Okay.
So regression analysis is actually very good because regression analysis will tell you whether to proceed with regression analysis or not. Here, first model is one because this is going to be a single model. What is predictors? Predictors are all the independent, considered independent variable, transaction safety, product selection, payment safety, and website safety. And we have R value, we have R square value, we have adjusted R square value. All we need to first see is this R square value, right? R value is nothing but the correlation, right? Which we already seen there is a very good correlation. But this R square value are supposed to be minimum 0.4. But here we got 0.5, which means all these four variables together influencing the dependent variable, that is consumer satisfaction, only to an extent of 50.10%. So first you all need to look into is R square value. You can forget about R adjusted R and all. Only when the R square is more than 0.4, that is at least a minimum 40% is achieved, you should proceed with ANOVA table. And in ANOVA table, it is very simple. You already aware of ANOVA, that is more than three groups. If it is significantly differentiating with the dependent variable, it will give you a very good F value and significant value. Since here the significant value is 0.05, less than 0.05, we are going to proceed with this. If you really want to understand all this table value, you can see if you take the sum of squares and if you divide it by the degrees of freedom 4, you will get 17.017. Again 67.713,160. If you divided it by, then you will get 0.423. Right? this is the better understanding about the table values. Otherwise, all you need to look into it, you need to just look into this F value significant. And here, if you divide this 17.013 divided by 0.423, again you will get this 40. Sorry, degrees of freedom, you will get 40. So these are the basic thing, but all you need to understand is here it is R square, here it is P value. Once these two things are perfect, we can absolutely proceed with the further table, and here itself you can say whether your null hypothesis is rejected or not. For example, now we are going to see, are you all following multiple, multivariate, linear regression analysis? What is the hypothesis? What is the hypothesis? There is no significant influence between there is no significant influence of the factors of consumer behavior on the customer satisfaction. Maybe we can correct the English later, but all we are going to see, this is very simple. Now we are going to see whether these factors of consumer behavior, all the four factors. What are those four factors? These are the four factors. If you want it to be very clear, you can put it in the bracket. You can see all the four factors, whether it is going to influence the consumer behavior or not. So hypothesis clear. Friends, why I am keep on spending much time on this hypothesis is you need to have the better understanding of it. Right? Now, what is the equation? Can somebody tell me the equation? Yes. Consumer satisfaction is equal to, what is it? Website
Transaction
safety.
safety, website
Yes.
safety,
Website safety.
payment safety,
Perfect. Payment safety.
and transaction safety.
Madam, you missed one.
Selection, product selection.
Yes. Product selection. I'm very poor in maths, but still I managed to complete this.
No, one more you
And
left.
yes,
One more is
transaction
transaction
safety.
safety.
Yes, madam. Yes. Transaction safety X4 plus constant. I can even put the C as constant for your better understanding. So this is the equation. And this equation and all, you really don't need to stress upon if you feel it is very disturbing. But just for your understanding, I'm adding this. Okay, so this is MLRA equation. Clear? Now we are going to proceed further with this. So hypothesis is clear and model summary is perfect, and ANOVA table also looks very good. So now itself, what you can say, you can simply say that in your inference, you can say the model, you can start your inference for two tables. The model summary table revealed the R square value as 0.501, which evidenced the variances of independent variables towards the dependent variable to an extent of 50.1% with the relationship with the correlation, what did I say? R value 70.8%. Maybe you can frame your own sentences, whatever that coming into my mind. I'm just drafting here. Sorry for this English grammar errors and all. This is the inference for the first table. Then second, since the p-value is less than 0.05 with a f value of 40.211, at 5% level of significance, it is clear that there is a significant influence of website safety, transaction safety, payment safety, and product selection on the consumer satisfaction pertaining to the online shopping. Clear? This is the inference for two tables. So here we are just inferring upon R square value and correlation value. Here we are just inferring upon this F value and significant value. That's all. Now the very important thing is coefficient table. Until you see the model summary table and until you see the ANOVA table, this is for the overall combined influence. But only here you will see the individual influence. Now see whether website safety is individually influencing or not. Answer is no. Payment safety is positively influencing, and
Product safety also.
product selection is positively influencing. And what about the transaction safety?
No.
It is not influencing, right? Normally, what you need to understand is you can say that all the factors are influencing the consumer satisfaction. All the factors of consumer behavior is influencing the consumer satisfaction. You can significantly say how we are strongly saying this because of ANOVA value, right? All the factors of consumer behavior are influencing the consumer satisfaction towards online shopping. However, payment safety and product selection Friends,
You're
can
not
you
able to
hear
hear
me?
me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, unfortunately, here it is a power cut. So I think I just need to wait until the power is on. Meanwhile, we can discuss on this Yeah, the power is back. Please give me few minutes. But meanwhile, shall we discuss on this table? What you all understand from this coefficient table? What are the two factors that are influencing? Can somebody tell me? Am I audible to all? I've just connected using my mobile phone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Perfect, perfect. So, can somebody tell me how many factors are individually influencing the consumer shopping experience?
Two factors.
What
All
are
the
they?
factors are influencing, but
Perfect.
only two. That is
Payment.
payment and product selection. Sorry, payment and transaction safety is not.
No, no, website safety and transaction safety are not individually influencing. However, payment safety and product selection are individually influencing. Am I right? How we are saying that these are all individually influencing? Based on the p-value that we are finding in coefficient. So friends, all you need to understand is multiple linear regression analysis will provide you three tables. In the first table, you will understand what is the level of influence, that is level of variance, that is around 50.10%. And when you move on to the ANOVA table, you come to know whether we are going to accept the null hypothesis or reject the null hypothesis. Here, do we need to accept or reject? Can somebody tell me?
Reject the null hypothesis.
Reject the null hypothesis because it is very clear that the p-value is less than 0.05 and the f-value is really good to an extent of 40 plus. So we are rejecting the null hypothesis. So it is very clear that all the factors of consumer behavior are influencing. However, when we talk about um, the individual influence based on the coefficient table, all we understood is very simple. Only two variables are individually influencing. Now, can somebody tell me what is the real, um, what is the real findings of us? Yes. Friends, am I audible now? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Very sorry for this interruption. And now, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I will reopen everything. Not very sure that the documents are saved, but no issues. We will rework on it. Okay. Right. And we also got this thing clear. And we also got this file recovered. Right. Now we are going to see SPSS file. SPSS output file. I think all these are auto recovered. Right. Good. I think we got the file. Perfect. Right. So are we all on same page? We have considered the inference, and now when we see the individual influence, we are just going to consider payment safety and the product selection alone. Can you all see the screen now? Right? Can I hear some yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right. Online shopping. However, the payment safety and product selection are individually influencing the satisfaction level of consumers towards online shopping. So this is the basic inference. And now, can you see the further thing, like we have t-value, we have standardized coefficient, we have coefficient standard error, we have unstandardized. Now tell me, unstandardized values are raw, direct, natural values that we retrieved, right? And standardized coefficient beta value is nothing but whenever we are using multiple different variables, if it is not standardized, it will standardize it. For example, you are using 3-point Likert scale value and 5-point Likert scale value or 7-point Likert scale value for these different factors, it will standardize it. But now can you see the differences between unstandardized and standardized coefficient values? Can you all hear me now?
Now only we can hear you, sir.
Yes, again, power is off and I'm joining through mobile phone. Right. I think I will wait for the power is to be up. Very sorry. And can you see the final coefficient table? We got like few tables, few columns in the table. One is unstandardized beta value. Other one is standardized beta value. Another one is t value and p value. I think t value and p value, you got some idea about it, right?
The screen is not visible.
Yes, madam, because I've joined through my mobile phone. I just wait for the system to be up. Due to rain, it's a power fluctuation. Sorry for that. Just give me a few minutes until we will have a discussion on this. So now we found that among the four factors, we found two factors are influencing individually, that is payment safety and product selection. Am I right? Yes.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
in the equation, we are going to consider only these two variables. We are just going to ignore all the other variables. This is what you need to understand, right? So now, If these two variables are individually influencing, what is the inference? Can somebody tell me? If payment safety and product selection are going to influence consumer shopping satisfaction, what is the inference? Can somebody guess some inference? Can comment on it? Yes. Just read the hypothesis. Hypothesis clearly says there is no significant influence on there is no significant influence of factors of consumer behavior on consumer satisfaction, right? If payment safety and product selections are going to individually influence it, what is the what to say? What is the actual understanding from that? What is the actual inference out of it?
If the people are, if the consumers are satisfied with that product satisfaction and payment selection, they
Perfect.
are
Yes,
satisfied with the consumer. That is consumer satisfaction.
absolutely right, madam. If the online platforms are going to improve the payment safety and the product selection for the consumers, they are going to be satisfied. That's all. The answer is very super duper clear. If they are going to improve it, automatically they are going to be satisfied. This is what actually the multiple linear regression analysis table is actually informing us, right? I think now the system is up. I'm just waiting to join. Right. Just give me a few minutes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I really pray God that again the power should not go off so that we can finish off this immediately. Right. So now we are going to frame an equation very clearly. What is the equation that we have considered? Consumer satisfaction is equal to website safety plus. Now we are going to remove the website safety and we are going to remove the transaction safety because the values are not significant. Now we are going to take this beta value, the beta value of payment safety, and we are going to take the beta value of product selection. So this is the final equation. So the x3 value is 0.17 and payment safety is 0.416. Can somebody tell me what is the final inference of it? When the payment safety is improved, consumer satisfaction can be improved by 41.6%. When the product selection is improved, the consumer satisfaction can be improved by 21.7%. Any doubts now? Shall we proceed further with further test? We have last 10-15 minutes,
Yes, sir.
right? Shall I stop with multiple linear regression now? If you want to go through, want to have a review, model summary says it all the four factors influence to an extent of 50%, and it is significant at 0.05 value of level of significance. And among the four factors, as per the t value and p value, payment safety and the product selection has influenced. So this is the final understanding of multiple linear regression analysis. So friends, when I talk about univariate, bivariate and multivariate, we are actually done with univariate, bivariate and multivariate, right? Since we have 10 more minutes, I'm just planning to even explain you about cluster analysis. Cluster analysis is actually a multivariate. In cluster analysis, there is no concept of what to say, independent variable, dependent variable at all, right? It is mostly about any variable which are scale in nature. So now I'm going to take this consumer shopping experience, right? In online shopping, the measure is scale. Because I think we haven't touched upon this particular variable so far, right? We have touched on all the four consumer behavior factors. In the MLRA, we have even touched upon this consumer satisfaction. We have just left with this consumer shopping experience. Now we are going to see the cluster analysis of it. Can somebody tell me what is mean by clustering? What is mean by clustering?
Grouping.
Excellent. Grouping. Now, what we are going to do is,
To make groups.
that's all. We are just going to divide this 165 sample into three groups based on their shopping experience towards online shopping, right? For that, what we are going to do is, we are just going to open the SPSS file and we are just going to do cluster analysis. So cluster analysis analyze, classify. A means cluster. I repeat, analyze, classify. A means cluster. So we are going to divide them into three groups. If you want four groups, five groups, you can change the number of clusters here. But three is very common thing. So I am actually considering that as a three groups. So what we are going to do is we are just going to consider this online shopping experience. And here there is one save option. I'm going to save the cluster membership. I'm going to give continue. So, okay. So now I got initial clusters 1, 2, 3, and I got final clusters. I'm going to just project this final cluster to you now. Right? Can you all see the screen? And we have number of cases in each cluster. Friends, can you all see the screen clearly? Right? Final cluster says 1, 2, 3, which means groups. Here cluster 1, 2, 3 again, which means group. In the first cluster, we have 114 sample. Second cluster, we have 10 sample. And in the third cluster, we have 41 sample. Can you all see this cluster clearly? Can I hear some yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, see this value. These are all mean value based on the responses they have provided. Now, apply the 5-point Likert scale and tell me the intensity of this value. People have given 4 and 5 as the responses, which means they have
More satisfied.
more very good shopping experience. So they have high level of shopping experience, which is positive shopping experience. They are very happy, right? They're happy online customers. right? And what about 2.05?
We are less
Not
satisfied.
They are not at all happy. They're very they are very much unhappy with the shopping experience, right? And finally, 3.52 means they are not very happy. Same way they are not unhappy. Otherwise, they are moderately happy. So now we are going to name this cases. So can somebody tell me some name for the first group? Happy customers. You can make it as happy customers if you want, or you can say high level of, or you can say very good experience, very good shopping experience online, and you can also tell good shopping experience, and you can say not good or bad shopping experience. Friends, can you understand this clustering process? What we have done now, based on the respondents' response towards customer shopping experience online, we have divided them into 3 groups. So now, as per the sample, most of the people are having very good experience or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
yes.
Yes. So what you can actually do is, you can actually prepare this kind of a table, right? You can also prepare a percentage, 165, right? You can actually prepare one small table like this, and you can say cluster of online shopping. I will just zoom the file so that you can visit. It will be more visible, right? Shopping experience. And here number of respondents, and you can have percent here. So you can do all the formatting work, right? And you can tabulate it properly. Friends, are you all following this cluster analysis, right? So by usage of this multivariate cluster analysis, what we have done is we have just clustered all the people based on their responses. And you can say the source as computed data. So in the Word file again, you can add this as cluster analysis. Normally the hypothesis not needed. If you need, you can put any statement, but otherwise cluster analysis just a grouping of people, respondents based on their dependent variable on the consumer shopping experience. So this is the table. And you can clearly say the inference as, with the help of cluster analysis, the consumers can be grouped into 3 significant groups based on their shopping experience. That can be the inference, right? And whenever you are going to give this cluster analysis, you should also add the value of cluster. What is the value of cluster here? What is the value of each cluster? This final cluster centers is the actual value that you need to include in your data. You have to say the first final cluster is based on 4.39. And here it is 2.05, 3.52. You can put one small note. Cluster values are stated in parenthesis. Parenthesis is the bracket. So you can just simply go with one neat, simple cluster values. Does it look very neat, right? You can even prepare one simple bar diagram or pie diagram also for this. So friends, today we have even seen this cluster analysis.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, the second one, 2.05 denotes only not good experience, isn't it, sir?
Yes, madam. Yes. Oh, I think here I have. Okay, this should be not. Right, right. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect. So here one thing we can understand is people are actually very happy with the online shopping to an extent of 70%. But now what the online platform needs to do is they need to research on this balance 30% of respondents, and they have to do research accordingly, and they need to come up with better options. Even as a researcher, you need to provide suggestions based on this values only, right? And now we have come to an end. I don't think that we find time for factor analysis. We will see factor analysis in some other workshop, or maybe you're going to come up with so many other weeks program. If possible, you will come across that. The organizing team, can it take another 5-10 minutes? Is it fine for you just to wind up few things?
Yeah, sir. Proceed, sir.
Right. Thank you, madam. Now,
Thank you.
somebody has asked me how to convert this scale value into nominal, right? Now, can you see one new baby has entered into the data view? What is this value? 132, 132. Can somebody tell me? Where did we get this value? And see the variable view. We also got one more thing.
We made clusters, maybe that group
Yes,
number.
excellent. We actually got this cluster created in this because we have saved. When I give analyze, classify, K means cluster, I have used this option cluster membership. This is the cluster membership. Now, can you all see when I run cluster value for scale, consumer shopping experience is this. This is scale measure. But what I've got now, it is a nominal measure. Can you all understand? Even here you can see it is nominal measure. So this is cluster number of cases on online shopping experience. Can you all see this? Now can we add value for this? Is there any possible to add value for this?
Yes, sir.
What is it? Very good shopping experience as one, and second can be not good or bad, whatever it is,
Two.
as 3, and third it can be good
Good.
shopping experience. Okay, now what we have done, we have converted scale measure into nominal measure. Now think of chi-square test. If you really want to do some chi-square test, what you can do? You can go for cross tab. Now, if you want to add age in row, you can have this cluster in column. You can give OK, right? I forget one thing, that is I need to check the statistics as cross tab by giving continue. Okay. Now, can you see the cluster analysis value, how it is looking like? This is the table, right? And I got the chi-square test value. Now, what is my inference? What is the p-value?
Significant.
P-value is 0.000. Now, what is our hypothesis? There is no significant association between age of the respondents and their shopping experience. But now, as per the chi-square test, it is clear that null hypothesis rejected. There is a strong significance between age and their satisfaction level. Now, tell me, which age group is enjoying more in shopping experience?
Up to 6:30.
Up to 30 years, followed by
50
31 to
above.
40.
third, followed
50
by
above.
31 to 40.
Hmm.
39.
Because
Yes,
20,
yes.
20 are having a more value. The next third category is above 50 years. Clear? But more unhappy customers are there in above 50 only. More happy customers are
41.
there in 30. And moderate people are falls under 41 to 50. Then you can write inference accordingly. So without much time, I think I can wind up now. I'm just stopping here with this slide. Can you all see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we started with univariate analysis of 3. We are done with that. And today and yesterday we finished with independent test and ANOVA. And today we started with bivariate chi-square correlation. And also under multivariate analysis, we finished with multivariate linear regression analysis and cluster analysis. My gentle apologies for not touching upon with the factor analysis, friends. Otherwise, we can see factor analysis as one separate session, because factor analysis will take at least one hard hour to complete. Right. Otherwise, with regard to SPSS, today we are going to start with test, starting from test, independent t-test, ANOVA, chi-square correlation, multiple linear regression analysis, and cluster analysis. You have seen around like 6 to 7 statistical tests in all these 3 days. And one more additional announcement I would like to give with the permission of the organizing team. If you are interested in more workshops, or if you are interested in more similar thing, that you can actually subscribe to one WhatsApp group. I will ask the organizing team to post it in the WhatsApp group of our 2 weeks workshop. You can actually join those workshop group, and periodically you will get a notification in this thing. Because that group is exclusively organize all related workshops for the research scholars and faculty, right? I think Professor Enoch will notify you with the link. You can use that link to join. So friends, I think it's really a great pleasure for me to uh, join SRM team for this 2 weeks workshop. And I don't know how this 3 days went. And I really thank all the participants for their very much curiosity and active participation. And as you all requested, I have already shared the PPT. And after this session gets over, I will share the Word document and the Excel file possibly. Word document, I think it got the Excel content as well as the notes. You can use it, right? I think I also posted this uh, WhatsApp joining link in the Gmeet. So now I sincerely thank the organizing team
एक मिनट मैं
uh,
इसको कॉपी करना चाहती हूँ कैसे करूँ
for their wonderful organizing effort, and there is no words to explain my sincere gratitude to the team for providing me wonderful opportunity. So I thank all the authorities of SRM Ramapuram campus. My special thanks to Madam Dr. Chitra Srinivasan, Professor and Head, Department of Commerce, and Program Coordinators Dr. TV Ambuli Madam and Dr. P. Sushila Madam. And last but not least, my special thanks to all the conveners, Madam Kartike Selvi, Enoch Sir, Monisha Madam, Revati Madam, and Maria Jensi Madam for their unwavering support and guidance throughout this workshop. So, dear participants, it is you who makes this workshop very lively and fruitful. Thank you so much for all your active participation. So, I'm just going to sign off with this last note. Thank you all. You can join this WhatsApp group for further talks and sessions. Thank you once again.
As we come to the conclusion of it, another insightful day in our workshop on SPSS introduction and bivariate multivariate analysis, it is my honor and privilege to extend a heartful note of gratitude to all of you who have made this today's section a resounding success. First and foremost, it is my immense gratitude and admiration that I extend a sincere vote of thanks to our distinguished guest speaker, Dr. B. Chinna Muthu, for gracing us with an enlightening and enriching sections. Your expertise, passion, and dedication have been instrumental in guiding us through the tangle of SPSS and the completing of bivariate and multivariate analysis. Your clarity of explanation, patience in addressing our queries, and commitment to fostering a conductive learning environment have truly enriched our understanding and inspired us to explore in statistical analysis. I also wish to extend my sincere thanks to all the participants who actively participation, insightful questions, and learn made our discussion engaging and enriching. Your enthusiasm and dedication to mastering the concepts and techniques of SPSS are commendable, and it is your collective curiosity and thirst for knowledge that have made our workshop section truly memorable. Once again, thank you all who has contributed to the success of today's section. Your passion, dedication, and affinity have made this workshop a truly rewarding experience, and I look forward to continuing our journey of discovery and growth together in the days ahead. Thank you all. Feedback link has been sent in WhatsApp group. You can check it and fill the feedback link within 10 minutes. Thank you all. Thank
Thank
you.
you all. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank you
madam,
for the wonderful
everybody.
section.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much for your
Thank you so much
participation
for
in
your
this.
valuable insights, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
थैंक यू सो मच सर
Sir, it's very
Thank you.
wonderful session, sir. Hope
Thank
by
you,
this
madam.
the end of the session we will have factor analysis.
Yes, yes, madam. Possibly, yes. When time permits, we can have. Yes. Thank you so much.
Sir, request to share your contact number, sir, email ID and phone number.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. I will share it with the team and you can take it up from the organizing team. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Even share the your PPTs and worksheets also, sir, so that we can practice.
Yes, yes, yes. Sure, sure. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. I have shared my contact number. If you want, you can take it up and you can join the WhatsApp group for further things. Thank you.
एक मिनट बेटा ये लेना क्या करूँ